Chapter 10 Tyler's Warning. Blaze raced off in the direction of the fireball. Blaze, wait! Skylar called, but Blaze ignored her and hurried on. Skylar turned to Tig. How does Blaze know that light came from Tyler? She asked. How does Tyler know we are here? It could be happen, Bud warned. Tig scratched his head. Something doesn't feel right, he agreed. But we have no other clues. They chased Blaze, following her brightly glowing feathers. Slowly, the twisted tree roots disappeared, and they found Blaze waiting up ahead. Look, Blaze called out. She was pointing to a massive rock. It reached up to the sky, stretched out in both directions. In the center was a perfectly round hole. It looked like someone dug into the rock, but said something like the mole with the orange eyes. Scarlet, moles are good diggers, or something much bigger, Tig said. But backed away. I don't think going is a good idea, she said. I think we should go back to Perodia. Blaze shook her head. I have to find my mom, she said. You don't have to don't want, they said kindly. You can keep guard out here. Skilla held out the lantern to Bud. Bud looked at the lantern and nodded. He gripped his swords tightly in his other wing. Blaze raised her wings and created a fireball, ready to attack. Skala loaded her slingshot with an acorn, and Tig held out its dagger. The three friends looked at each other, took a deep breath, and then stepped into the opening. They were through the long tunnel that went down and down. Tig watched their shadows dance on the walls as they moved. He was glad that Blaze could light the way. Suddenly, a cold breeze ruffled his feathers. Blaze's feather flickered and the flames went out. Blaze, Tig called. Scarlet moved closer to Blaze and Tig. My magic won't work anymore, Blaze replied. Then in the darkness, the blinking orange lights appeared. Then more. Tig looked closer. He realized that they weren't lights at all. Glowing orange eyes stared back at them. They were surrounded. Chapter 11 The Red King. Tig, Scala, and Blaze huddled together in the dark tunnel. The orange-eyed creatures stared at them. There were all kinds of underground animals, moths, badgers, even a few fluffy bunnies. They seemed to be under a spell, just like Thorn's spies had been. We can help you, Scala cried as the species moved closer. She looked at Tig. Blaze, use your magic, Tig whispered. Use your magic. Scala nodded. Try your firehalk cry. Blaze opened the beak, but no sound came out. He frowned. My magic isn't working, she said. The two large badgers stepped forward. They grabbed the friends and pushed them down the path. Where are we taking us? Scala demanded. She tried to wriggle away from the badger, but he was impossibly strong. They saw a dull glow at the end of the tunnel. They found themselves standing inside a wide-open cavern. Fire torches stuck out of the walls. Their lights shone dimly. In the center of the cavern was the biggest red Tig had ever seen. Tig gulped. The rat was white with red eyes and long, thick tail that trailed down to the ground. It sat on the throne made from the same twisted roots they had seen outside. Long, sharp thorns stuck out from the roots, and on his head the wretch wore a crown made from bones. Besides, the rat sat twisted wooden cage. There was a shadowy figure inside. Is that a shadow? Tig thought, but then the figure moved into the lights. Mom, Blaze cried. A dark cloud swirled around Stella. She saw Blaze and her eyes went wide. Then she pointed the beak toward the 3 empty cages next to her. Is she telling us to run? Tig wondered. What have you done to her? Blaze shouted at the huge rat. The rat smiled. Let's welcome our guests, he snarled. There was a loud rumble and the room filled with rats. They ran along the ground like a river of brown and white and gray. They lifted his friends and threw Tug and Scala into 2 of the empty cages. Blaze tried to find the rats but they tied up her beak with thick black vines. Finally, they put her into the 3rd cage. Then the dark cloud that surrounded Stella split into. One half stayed with her, and the others floated over to Blaze. The rat left as Blaze struggled to use magic. It's no use. The rat left again. The shadow had bound your magic. It ought to work here. Tigger's heart dropped. Blaze had no magic and they were trapped. Chapter 12. Trapped. The rats loomed over them.